Okay, the reading strategy I chose to do was a KWL chart, which is basically, you basically put it in as KWL for what you know from before reading a text, what you want to know from reading the text, and then after you've read the text, what you've learned. An example of this would be for planets. I could ask all of my students, all right, well, what do we already know about the planets? And they could simply say stuff like, you know, Earth is a planet, Mars is a planet, some planets have an atmosphere, some planets don't, some planets are big, some planets are small, Saturn has rings, all kinds of things that they already know about the planets. Then we move on to the W, which is, what do you want to know? So this is where they could ask any type of questions that they might not know already. So, you know, how much of Earth's atmosphere consists of water? How much of it consists of land? Are there other planets out there that are able to sustain life? You know, any type of information or question that they have about what they want to find out from reading either an informational text, or you can use a non-fiction or a fiction text and go through it like a picture walk and then see what they already know about the subject or about from what they've seen in the pictures, what they might think that it's going to be about in what they want to know or what they think it might be about. And then the last part is the L and what they've learned. This has the after reading aspect of the before, during, after. This would be any type of summarization of what they've found out after reading the text, you know, and we can come together, and they usually do this in like groups of a couple of like 4 to 5 students can get together and come up with their own KWL charts. Typically you would do this on a board, but obviously I don't have a board, so this is the best that I can do right now with what I have. The purpose of this is also to help build comprehension. One of the biggest things in my case study student is his lack of comprehension or not understanding what the text that he's reading very fluently, but he has no idea what it's about. So allowing a KWL chart can also break down the text and have him think beforehand, before reading it, with what he already knows about it, then what he thinks it might be about or what he's going to possibly find out while he reads. And then after he reads, summarize up what he has learned and see if some of what he thought he was going to find out and what he already did find out, if they kind of match up. Like I said, this is a very good strategy for comprehension and building that and helping him summarize and break it down between the before reading and after reading aspects of his reading comprehension. Like I said, typically they divide them into groups, but you can do this with a one-on-one student as well. I plan to use this for my student during his case study, so to see if this can be a strategy that I can use to help him. Yeah, that's basically it. You can do it in many different ways, whether it be like this and having them create their own, or doing it as a whole class on chart paper or on the whiteboard, or, you know, and it can be used for a lot of different types of texts. So it doesn't have to just be fictional or non-fictional. It can be a part of the textbook. If he's reading a history book and would like to go through it and see, you know, the headings and the big bolded words within that text and figure out what those are, he can, you know, look through and see, okay, well, I know what that word means, and then write that down in his K. Or, you know, after reading a heading, maybe it's not as broad of a statement for him to understand, so maybe he'll have some questioning on what that might mean or what he might think that he's going to learn throughout it. And then after he's done reading that section, he can then summarize it and see if he was correct on what he thought or what he wanted to learn or what he thought he might find, and see if it's actually what he learned while reading that text. Aside from that, that's my KWL chart. Thank you.